Remind yourself how great you are. Know that all of the current things in your life today are actually a dream and a wish and a manifestation from not that long ago. And there's a delay. So it's like what you want today, there's a delay. Is it going to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years? Well, depending on the size of the vision and the goal, sometimes the time is delayed a little bit longer than you want it to be. And that's perfectly okay. First question that came through that had a lot of votes is from Kathy. Hi, I'm at this weird point where I feel some days extremely excited about the business, what I'm doing and everything, and have 100% belief in it. While sometimes literally the next day, I'm not believing in everything at all, feeling pretty low in my energy and feeling demotivated. I've been in the business for a bit longer than a year, but really going for it since the beginning of March because I had a lot of personal development to do before that. I also made my first sale last week. That's so epic. So what, you basically just committed to the business and you got a sale? Like, come on now, that's epic. And I'm currently in a 90-day sprint. I do believe fully in an magic in the business model, but some days I still feel like everything I do is useless even after making my first sale. I know that I'm still in that transition period between an employee and an entrepreneur mindset. And I also know that the excitement will come more with the more action I take and the results I will see. I'm wondering if you have any advice or tips around this topic and how to tackle the low energy days. All right. Who else has this question? Pop it in the chat. Let me know. Yes. If you resonate with this roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship. So the first thing that I want to acknowledge is that this is normal. So for anybody who's like, I shouldn't be feeling this type of way, and like, what's wrong with me, and why am I motivated today and not tomorrow, and vice versa, it's completely normal, guys. It's because you're the master of your own destiny, right? You're in the driver's seat. You're literally creating the life of your dreams. And you're taking that full ownership. So when you take the ownership of, which is literally what an entrepreneur is, right? Is like ownership of your business, but more so ownership of your life, like building your diamond life is, there's going to be the polarity, and you're going to have to really be self-aware and recognize what is the difference between a day that you get up, jacked up, excited, pumped, want to conquer the world and feel confident and all those things. And then what is the difference? What is the shift? And sometimes people don't have the awareness to notice what they're doing differently. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes it's maybe they're reacting to what they see on social media. So you might wake up one morning and you have a reflex or a habit to go on your phone, and you happen to see something on your phone just by chance that motivates you, that inspires you, that reminds you of your dreams or what you want to create in your life. Maybe it's an influencer or somebody that you look up to sharing something about their life, and you're like, oh yeah, like I want that too. Get off the phone and get to work. And then simultaneously the next day, it might be something negative or depressing or something different that actually throws you off and makes you kind of go like, maybe I'm not on track, or maybe someone on social media is talking shit about network marketing and how it's stupid and it's a scam, and you happen to see that. So we have to be very mindful. Is it something that we're doing as a habit that is creating the environment for us to shine, to be our best selves, to be confident? Or is it the opposite effect? Sometimes it's like drinking booze. For some people, they'll drink booze the night before. The next day, they have a really bad day. Not necessarily hungover, but just kind of down, low energy, can't focus, depressed. It's a downer vibe. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's the type of food you're eating. Maybe it's one day you exercise, the other day you didn't. So one of the first things that I highly recommend that you do is to journal or to write down notes in your calendar and track these days. So Monday, if you were to score your energy, your confidence, your belief in yourself, all these kind of metrics out of like 10, how would you score yourself? And then be mindful of what you did the day before, or what you did like in the mornings, or like what was the daily routine and so forth, and really track this over time And you might notice that you have one habit that you do occasionally, like it might be you drink alcohol once a week as an example, and that throws you off for like 72 hours after you do that. And it might be time to reconsider and stop doing that. Or watching certain types of shows, maybe it's a conversation with your family or your spouse, or maybe they have a comment where it makes you feel down about yourself or they're not being supportive. There could be so many things. So the first thing I would start with is try to recognize the patterns that are consistent with your low energy days or demotivated days, because I don't think it's just by chance. You know what I mean? Like there isn't just this like randomness to it. There is something there that you need to uncover and notice. And I'm sure that most of you, if you pay closer attention, you'll notice that. So that's the first piece. The next piece is, let's say that you did wake up a little bit less motivated. Well, what are some of the things that gets your vibe up? What are some of the things that resets your energy, gets you really excited? Do you have like a go-to process that reminds you of your why, reminds you of your dreams? Maybe it's moving your body. Maybe it's going for a run. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's putting on your favorite music and changing your state of your body and moving and jumping around and dancing or singing. Or for me, like one of my things is going for a car ride. I just take my car. I have supercars, fast cars, whatever. I love to hear the engine roaring. I put on my favorite music, roll down the window if it's nice outside, and I just fucking rip. And like, when I say rip, I mean like I rip. And then I'm just like, within minutes, I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo, I get to do this. And I feel like a kid at like, a fair on a roller coaster ride, being like, woohoo. And next thing you know, I'm like so happy. My energy's transferred. I'm listening to some of my favorite music. And then I'll get back into like some personal development. Then I'll put on a podcast or some training. I'll remind myself of my goals, my dreams, my why. And a really powerful thing that I also have done is creating a list of like your, what's a best way to call it, is reminding yourself of all the things you've ever accomplished. So it's like a list where you can brag about it. You know what I mean? Like, I was number one in grade 1. I was the best soccer player on my toddler, on my like elementary soccer team. Then I like won this state fair competition in high school. Then I was the quarterback on the football, whatever is something that reminds you that you are awesome, you are great, you have overcome things, and putting that on like a one pager and reading it. And then it reminds you like you are awesome. You have done great things in your life, and it gets you back and, gets you back on the right side of who you are, rather than the doubts, the insecurities, the demotivation of like the imposter syndrome, all the negative shit's like shifting it back to the other side. And I was actually thinking about this for a podcast episode that I'm going to record soon. I was like kind of thinking about it and brainstorming. And this was so powerful. I don't know if it was just me, and it might not be as powerful for you, but sometimes when we're in our lives, like everybody on this call right now, right? You're in your life, you have certain circumstances that you're experiencing. Like it might be some financial stress, or it might be like overwhelmed with family and children. And you're like, man, I just don't have a moment for myself, or, whatever the circumstances might be. But we all focus on like what's hard right now in our lives. We all do this. It's like, this is hard right now because, and if you're at a certain rank in your business, you're experiencing certain challenges in your business because of that. And I was thinking to myself, and I'm like, so if I was to rewind back 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or really it doesn't matter, but any point in the past, there were moments that I wanted something, I desired something, had a vision, I had a dream, something big, something massive that seemed really far-fetched. Like, I wouldn't say impossible, but like right below, one level below impossible in my mind, right? I'm like, how in the fuck is that going to happen? Kind of shit. Fast forward, it's happened multiple times. From ranks to income to dream vacations to dream homes to dream cars, whatever, you name it, to family, to having a daughter, to having a beautiful wife, having this beautiful wedding that we had 5 years ago, whatever you want to look at it, at one point in my life, if I go back far enough, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, before the thing manifested, I had the thought of like, one day, man, like I could be a dad. Like, nah, come on. No way. That would be fucking epic. Here it is. It's real. One day I was like living in this dungy little apartment with no natural light, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like, what the fuck? I'm living in this like dungeon thing. I was like, one day, man, I'm going to have my own house. I'm going to have my own studio. I'm going to have this beautiful home gym, theater room, whatever. And then in that moment, it's like, yeah, right, Balazs. Like, who do you think you are, man? Like, come on, just calm down, bro. Here it is. It's happened. And the reason why I bring this up is because now I'm manifesting and visualizing sort of the next level for my life, you know, personal things, things in my marriage, next level things, you know, whether it's like we're now planning like having properties all over the world and like moving around and there's still that same element of we dream and we talk and we're planning and then there's this thing of like, yeah, but it's pretty far-fetched. And there will be a time in the future where all of those things will have happened as well. So I think for you guys, if you're feeling down, look at all the things that you have in your life today that you dreamed for and wished for not that long ago. You've made such big strides in that direction. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So at one point, the idea of having an online business or an ability to travel or do these things and bring your business with you was like a pipe dream for everybody on this call, not that long ago. You know, to make a commission, like some of you guys are talking about here, where you make a commission from someone else's efforts, like they made the sale and you got a check. At one point, when you first saw the opportunity, when you first saw the compensation plan, you're like, oh, could I do that? Like, could that be a thing for me? Now it's happened. You've got the check. It is real. It's happening. So it's really powerful to actually make a list of all the goals that you've achieved. And they don't have to be necessarily like massive goals like I'm sharing in my life. They could be all different levels, all different sizes, all different achievements and whatever. But like, you are constantly moving in the direction of the imagination and the dreams that you're coming up with. Like your imagination is a preview of your life's coming attractions. It's literally a trailer of what's coming next. And once you step into it and you recognize, I woke up in the dream that I once had not that long ago, then you know that what you dream up next is coming next too. Does this make sense? So to me, like this was so profound because I'm like, at what point am I going to reduce the doubt, the insecurity, the thing about like what I want to create next when I know my track record is like this epic manifester that's done every single other thing that I've ever wanted to do up until this point. So why wouldn't the next things happen too? They will, and they are. So back to the point of you guys is like, this is so powerful for you to make a list as a reference point. And then it's almost like an emergency kit, right? Like, you know, when we run drills around, okay, if there's a fire, what do we do? If there's an earthquake, what do we do? There's this like protocols and contingency plans for things in your life, or you put away some money into a savings account for a rainy day or emergency fund or whatever the case is. You're planning for what might come next, right? Like, okay, I might lose my job. There might be a pandemic. I might, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. I got a little bit of money stashed at home in a safe, or I got some little crypto over here. I got a savings, whatever it is. You're prepared. You're expecting that at some point in the future, that's going to be a smart decision to have. Well, what about you knowing that you're going to have a tough day, right? It's the same shit. We all know a tough day is coming. We all know a demotivated day is coming. We all know that a day like, where are you on here? Let me quickly find you. Christy. We all know that a hard day is coming, like Christy shared in the chat, where like she had but she had a good attitude about it. So if we know that the hard days are coming for all of us, we don't know when, we don't know how often, we don't know if it's once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year. What are we going to do as our emergency kit where we're like, the alarm's going off. I'm feeling in the dumps. I don't believe that I'm wasting my time here. This is stupid. This is never going to work for me. All the thoughts are coming in. What do you do? What's the playlist? What's the top 10 songs you got to put on, right? What's the brag list you can read? What's the why or the vision statement you can read? How can you remind yourself of why you started this business on day one? Put yourself back into that place. Be grateful. Write a list of 10 things you're grateful for, and everything just shifts. And the contingency plan all of a sudden is like, oh, thank goodness I was ready for that. Otherwise, I would have been sulking and whining and moaning and, wasting a day or a week or sometime. And that's the biggest thing is like, if you're weak with your contingency plan, the amount of days that you're off course and demotivated and hiding and not taking action, not generating leads, not closing sales, it can last for days or weeks. Sometimes one bad thing happens and we don't even realize that we haven't really taken action in our business in a really long time. That's like wasted time you will never get back. So that's my advice, is remind yourself how great you are. Know that all of the current things in your life today are actually a dream and a wish and a manifestation from not that long ago. And there's a delay. So it's like what you want today, there's a delay. Is it going to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years? Well, depending on the size of the vision and the goal, sometimes the time is delayed a little bit longer than you want it to be. And that's perfectly okay. I just had a Facebook memory thing pop up over the weekend, and I posted a picture of this beautiful yacht. It was like a 50-footer. That is kind of small now compared to when I posted it. But anyways, 50 foot is still a nice boat. And I posted it being like, I'm so excited for the day I get to pick up my yacht. And this is 10 years ago, okay, on Facebook, when I first started my business. And just before this reminder, I was shopping for yachts for our Mexico place because I want to get one. So it's like, there's a huge delay of 10 years ago, manifested, put it on the vision board. I'm going to have this nice, beautiful boat. And for 10 years, it hasn't been a priority. Haven't really thought about it that much. So then I'm like, all right, Mexico place is being built, whatever. I want to kind of start shopping around, seeing what's out there, what I want, what I don't want. Literally within days of me pulling it up, going online, doing some research, the reminder comes up 10 years ago, I made that post. So it's like sometimes there's this huge time delay on these big visions and goals, but they do come back around. It's like a full circle moment where it's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, that is true. I did plant that seed in my imagination, a while back. So let that happen for you as well. Remind yourself you're epic. And yeah, it's totally normal. That's the most important thing, is that, there's this expression in business and network marketing. A lot of the leaders, top leaders will say this, is, never quit on a bad day. And, just tell yourself, I'm going to keep going for one more day. It's not necessarily like I'm going to never quit, or, you don't have to make that type of lifelong decision or commitment when you're really down in the dumps, but not today. I'm going to keep going for one more day. And then the next day you have an awesome day. And then of course you continue. So there's this whole element of never quitting on a bad day, keep going for one more day. And usually there's a reset that happens when we go to bed, we move our body, we work out, we smash a bunch of really good water, eat healthy food, dance to some music, or go for a car ride like I do, whatever it is for you, but rely on this go-to strategy of like, this is my contingency plan. And this is what I know gets me back into peak state, feeling my best, reminding myself of how awesome I am, how powerful I am, all the things I've accomplished. My past goals are now my reality, which means my current goals will be my future very soon. And all of this stuff really just gets you centered, and you're like, holy shit, I'm fucking powerful. Like, let's get back to it, So hopefully that is insightful for you guys. And let's continue. Any other things you guys want to ask about that, or is that pretty clear? Are you on this call, Kathy? Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Keep crushing it. And congratulations on your commitment to your business and already getting a sale. Like, you're so epic. I love that. Keep going.